I'm irritated by a couple things. One thing I'm irritated about, my ex-wife has reached out to a ton of people. At least, I'll say at least 5 mutual friends have alerted me. I have no idea how many other are affected. Basically saying that I've lied about a ton of stuff and that I am abusive. Where I guess abusive means I've lied before or cheated. That's like what abusive means now, I guess, which is chill. You know, I'm cool with that. It's a little bit annoying that every single person that Melina talks to, and then every single person Tim talks to, and then every single person that these two people talk to are basically being told that I'm like an abuser and a liar and just like all sorts of other like insanely unhinged is a little bit, I'd say a little bit annoying. That's one thing that's irritating. And the second thing that's irritating is I don't like being called a liar, okay? Maybe I shouldn't have leaked anything the first time when I got upset. I probably shouldn't have, because I should have waited longer and typed out something more formal. I probably shouldn't have. But yeah, I would, I don't know why, I don't know why you would call me a liar. Does she actually weaponize therapy? Melina weaponizes everything. I remember we got into a fight in Vegas because Tim was spamming her phone saying, if you want to raise kids, you can't do it in a poly relationship or with an American. Like, just like random. And I'm just like, why are you arguing with this person about this? This is and then we got into a huge fight over this. And I remember one of the things she says to me in the fight, she's like, are you even on your meds today? Maybe that's why your mood is so like, damn. Melina, you're going in. I don't think she meant it. I think she was just trying to find like me, but it was a good insult. I'll give it an 8.5. Jesus. What is this?
I guess like the only boundary basically that I haven't, or like the boundary that we have, is that if there's someone that we're interested in or like doing some romantic or sexual thing with, if they don't respect our relationship or try to like sabotage it or whatever, or just like hates the other one, like that's like the boundary basically. And it feels like everything is going well until there's like some point, and then I feel like I just like, I don't know, it's just really, I think it's really sad.
That would be a really good boundary to have, if that was it. I would agree with that. I'll say that today, Melina reaches out to me for the first time in like 10 days, okay? 12 days, okay? Because she's blocked me on everything. And now she's like, oh, we should talk. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. We hop into a call, and I think like the first thing I say is like, listen, if you want to argue or have a chat about anything, that's fine. However, one of the things that, okay, let me give this piece of advice to people, okay? And I fully admit I might just be really Death Note brained or debate brained or attorney brained or internet drama brained, or I don't know, okay? So I'm giving you this warning, okay? I'm giving you this warning for this piece of advice, okay? I'm so tired in my life of people weaponizing feeling statements against me, and I'm so tired of friends both sidesing our disagreements, because a lot of the disagreements that me and Melina will have or have had historically are statements of fact. There is no room for disagreement here. And I hate how many people will say things like, well, I understand you said this, but she feels this way, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, we're not arguing about a feeling right here. This is like a true or false fact. I don't understand how we're having a both sides perspective on this, okay? Record, log. Don't let people do that to you, okay? And I'm not even saying they're gaslighting. They're just trying to be understanding of both sides. But like, it is important to establish like a fact pattern before you develop like narratives and feelings and opinions of them, okay? That's really important. I've gotten a lot better at that, especially over the past 2 weeks. Well, in regards to my relationship. For everything else, obviously, I'm fine with this. But just in my relationship, I was like super blinders on for this. But yeah, so basically, Melina reaches out to me. We have a call, and she basically tells me that I owe her for money for her apartment, and that if I want to do what's moral, because I made her leave the United States and pay to fly all of her back, that I should pay her like $100,000. And I'm like, you're out of your mind. And the way that this conversation starts is, this is the funniest thing. Initially, she'd like sent this message through a mutual, and then I responded back, and I was like, oh no, like maybe Tim can get a job, and you guys can, work for this money, good luck. I was very passive aggressive. I admit that. I sent a really nasty message when she asked me for that. just to be clear. It was like, hey, remember you told me you don't care about the money, you don't care about my help, you don't care about me doing taxes, you don't care about any of that. All you want is somebody to cuddle with you for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Well, there you go. Now you got it. Good luck. Figure it out. I'm sure you guys will. Power of love will, help you with your paperwork 100%. Okay. Because that's the only thing that matters. Remember, it's the only thing that matters in life. I was super passive aggressive in that message. But then when the call starts, Melina's like, this call starts. She's like, I just want to know where you're at. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, I want to know where you're at because of that message you sent 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, well, I'm at the message that I sent 1 hour ago. And yeah, we argue for a bit about this. And then it's just like a 40-minute call and now that I've like grown into like Neo when it comes to our relationship, now I can see like every single lie and every single like pivot and every single attempt, like every single thing. I'm like, well, do you have a log for that? Or can you prove that? Or can you show that this happened? Because I have a whole bunch of stuff that says the exact opposite. And it was just like lie after lie after lie for things that I've let her lie about in our entire relationship that drive me insane. And it felt good. It felt good to pick the bullets out of the air. Again, I'm not going to like dive into like everything, but I'll say, for instance, one thing, because this was kind of public already. Something that I've said about Melina is that Melina emotionally rewrites everything. So, for instance, now when she talks to people about me, I've always been an abuser. I've always been a horrible person, blah, 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 blah. She emotionally rewrites the history with everybody based on her current state, or she'll rewrite the facts based on her current emotional state. So one of the things Melina starts telling me is like, you owe me this because I abandoned all of my stuff in Sweden for you. And it's not fair that like I moved to the US and gave up so much and I abandoned so much in Sweden for you. And I'm like, no, you didn't. You abandoned New Zealand for me. And she's like, no, I abandoned Sweden. I couldn't go back after I blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, you hated Sweden and you abandoned New Zealand. And I know this. And then I start pulling logs from the first year of our relationship, because the first year or two of our relationship, all of the fighting was over her not wanting to leave New Zealand and hating Sweden and then having to come to the United States. And there are so many logs of that. There were even logs when she went back to Sweden. She's like, I hate it here. I hate Sweden. It's such a horrible place. And then when we would fight, she'd be like, I can't believe you pulled me away from my dream place of New Zealand. And she's like, well, that's not true. I married you so that we could be together in the United States. I was like, Melina, you were engaged to a guy in New Zealand 2 weeks after you went down there, okay? Everybody thinks that like I cucked her out of Max or whatever. Melina was engaged to another guy, and then she also was dating Max. There's a whole other guy that was involved there. I don't know if he ever gets brought up, by the way, but whatever, run with your assumptions. But yeah, I was like, Melina, you got engaged with this guy immediately so that you could live in New Zealand forever. And that's what we always fought about. And she was trying to say that you pulled me away. So I was like, bro, you never liked Sweden. You're like, this is a new thing that you've decided because now you've got like a new group of friends in Sweden, and now you're going to say that like you've loved Sweden the whole time and I like out of it, blah, 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 blah. But that's like, yeah, that was just like one example. It was like 45 minutes of her trying to lie. I would say probably gaslight. I think it's accurate here. She's trying to make me misremember events so that she can manipulate it for her purpose, so that she can like win an argument. But I'm just like, at every point, I'm like, well, do you have a log for this? Well, can you show me this? Do you have any proof for this? Because I've got a bunch of stuff that says the opposite. And then we've got a third party in the call, and she's like, well, what do you think about this? Like, shut up, Steven. Don't shut up. And obviously the other third party is like, well, I don't know. Like, Melina, do you have like a log or anything else or whatever? And then Melina's like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Clearly he's made up his mind. And I'm like, okay. She says that like 50 times. Like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. This is clearly over. And I'm like, okay. And then her conversation is like unhinged. She's like, this is why, she's like, you surround yourself with people that just suck up to you all day. And nobody challenges you on anything. And you're emotionally stunted child, and you don't understand how any blah, blah, blah. And like, even Stacy says this about you. Even she has said that like you're a horrible person, and she knows that I'm right about everything. But I'm like, but anyway. That was today. Why does she need the money? That'll probably never come up because that's just not my place to say. But hopefully the other guy can go get a job and they can work and be happy. And yeah, I explained the best. Is your money safe? Yeah, mine is fine. Paperwork's already filed with the court. Even if it wasn't, even if she wanted to fight for it, which I can't imagine she would. I live in Florida. It's a low cost, or not low cost. It's a short-term marriage, less than 10 years. And Florida's laws are already disfavorable towards short-term marriages. Plus, you hit them with the infidelity thing. Plus, she didn't make any sacrifices to her career. We don't have any joint assets. We don't have any kids. Like the likelihood of like, even if she wanted to fight and like splurge like 50K for a lawyer, there's just not much there. I already called and consulted with 3 different lawyers prior to doing anything to make sure that like, do you think that like blah, blah, blah? And she's like, no, she's still been working. She's earned more money over and over again, but like, there's no shot. Yeah. Are you still getting paid back for the tax stuff? Despite everybody telling me one thing, I do trust my gut sometimes. The day before we went into therapy, I had like a 15-page document that I had made to get ready for therapy to go over everything. But the morning of, I was like, let's go to the bank and get my money back. Because I don't think this is gonna help. And I was so right on that. Thank God. So I got all my money back. How's that guy broke as a famous TikToker? Don't they at least get high-paying sponsors and brand deals? Maybe. But the problem is he was famous like a year or two ago, and 10-year-olds don't have the most disposable income, so. There's no way you drove it to the bank to get your money back before a therapy session? Correct. We walked. What about the meme tick streams in Swedish? I think that he just streamed and he said that like there were lies about the logs that I released. Oh, okay. I'll say this much too, because that came up in the convo today. Because I was curious, like, why are you telling people that I'm lying about things? She's like, because you've been lying about everything. I'm like, okay, both of us have known. It's like standing in an elevator with one other person and farting and saying you did it. Like, what do you think I'm lying about? And Melina's argument was that I lied about paying for rent for her other boyfriend that she moved in without telling me. And she wouldn't let me explain anything because she just kept screaming at me. I was like, okay, blah, blah, blah. So technically, Melina is correct in that. And technically, you could say that that's a lie. I didn't actually pay for that apartment. But I'm pretty sure what I even said, I think when I was leaking logs in chat, was I'm talking about the fungibility of money. What I'm saying is that, and I think I might have even said this in chat, is that if Melina lives in America for free and I pay for everything here, and then Melina goes to Sweden and she uses her money to pay for another person to live with her, well, it kind of feels like I'm paying for that guy. That's kind of the feeling that I got because of the fungibility of money. I'm pretty sure I even said that as much in the chat logs, but she was like, you lied about that. Probably to try to make it sound like I lied about everything, which, yeah. But anyway, Destiny, you said, normally I don't care about money, but after realizing that she had let that jobless loser move in her apartment for free without telling me, I felt really annoyed paying anything for her because I was basically subsidizing this toxic loser. Oh, base, true. Okay, I did say that. Shouldn't doubt my original statements. True. Okay.
I appreciate that, Destiny.
All right, bye. Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.